This day 1678 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. They were doing Ibn Ezer, Simon Aleph, Siv Chav Test, the Siv Beis, Siv Zayin. Chav Test. Pasuk Echad mi Gdoli Kamoi, one of the ancient greats, wrote. This is really one of the early Achrayim. When Mishal Eretz Yisrael, Mishal Osloim Mosar, he went up there, so his wife now come up with him. Brought so Lisa Shacher's name wants to marry another wife. Yishlach will get it. Yishlach should send her a get through an agent. Mishara has man she'egila get, and you can estimate when she would have received the get. But no say she can marry another wife. It's my beat. Fashion or Raish the Kabel get, even though there's no evidence she's going to accept the get. Mikom come shublo chal Israel love. The blessed Israel no longer applies to him. There, I mean, Adina Yolo Los Eretz Yisrael. Going to let her law should have come up with married Yisrael. Either Yevshar Kufel Zeh. Shesh Latam, but granted you can't compel her to do this when she has a reason, when she's purposing iron hay, so become clean later on. Nevertheless, it's obvious that the decree did not apply in such a situation to require him to live without a wife. Especially because Eretz Yisrael, at least at the time of Shulchan, was not universally accepted. True, the prohibition devolves upon it, which time to see for Chav Gimel. Like we said, we would make an effort to get him out of the marriage, to get to marry somewhere else. And the bracket says here, it's Kama Shikshua love, evidently this resolves all the questions asked on the Mabit. A man whose wife converted to Islam. Some say some say he bestows upon her get through a third party, but no can marry another woman. In the place that's a custom, one soon have to change the minhag. However, the place where there is no custom, you don't even have to bestow a get upon her through an agent. You don't have to be stringent in this. With the Sacheres can marry another woman. Not divorce the first wife. However, in places where there is an issue, the people do yibum. Nachal and zakos loket. It's appropriate to bestow a get upon her. Um, to an agent. The Shema Yamus, maybe he'll die. Bevo Liabim is Ishto, and they'll come to be Miabim, his wife. Vitzaras Shazur Marshas, and she is the she's the co-wife of this woman who's a wicked woman. Rabbi Tzara Saita, the Shasur Liabim, and she's like this co-wife of a Sota, where the halacha is you can't do Yibum, only Chalitza, and the Chakas Mechekich. Woman who cooks trade for us when these bars have made him and witnesses have clarified this. Show Gash about Korcha, in which case he can divorce against the will, much Kosab in the Simakuf Tezvav, as we will see in Simakuf Tezvav. Emmanuel if he doesn't want to, if she doesn't, will is not to accept the get, he can bestow a get through a third party, but can't call Eilush get, and this is true about all the women who are compelled to receive a get, much Kosab in the Shom, like it wrote there. On base, Kosar base, yes, you see, out the base, yes, right, Tobla, so, it's best to make an enactment, B'chol Chomer, and also very Mishi Yishal Ishto, and anybody marries a second wife, Period Dvar means to say that after Klemas, shows Bash the Kos Magma in places where the Takar Ben Gershom has not spread. Tova so Stakona it's best to enact this decree nation because it's an appropriate decree. Famous the Chomatzin and Lomatzin Chotanay Vagonim Sheelam Shtei Nashim. Not sure about that. It seems that there were somewhere two wives. But on the contrary, Matzina Medish Bracious Brabios Isha Ra. He had a very bad wife. Lona he did not marry a second wife. Until he divorced the first one. Medin Mishasha Esashayim B'Layota, a person who was spent 10 years with his wife, she didn't give birth. He's probably Sim Kuftal to explain Sim Kuftal. Guys, Barasham also it's going to be clarified that Minishmash somebody took an oath not to marry another woman. B'Layota as a shame, but she has given birth after 10 years. What is their status? Sham. Isha to make an effort to marry a appropriate woman. So we have to check the family. A person has to make every effort to take an appropriate wife. Also, she is not marry one which has a smidgen of impropriety. Whether the impropriety is in her body, in herself, meaning such as she's immodest. Whether the impropriety is in a family. Such as in a family, there is an issue of mamzerus, of illegitimacy, oshu kohen, or if he is a kohen, and there is an impropriety of potentially being chalo, which is also for kohanim. Chazal say kol isha knows that isha shabsul, anybody marries a woman who has an impropriety. Elio Kosvo, Elio writes now because Baruch Hashem signs. Romans has oilo leposel as zara woe to he who renders his children fit upogim mishpachlu and damages his family. See in the eventual future, Elio kofato, Elio will knock him down because Baruch Hu wrote so, and Hashem will pierce him with an awl, so to speak. By the time because the reason why Leo writes it and pulls him down, she should start about Hashem. You saw a fair bishop ben Hashem. It's because he was in great anguish because Amisol desecrated the covenant between themselves and Hashem. For near Daf and he was persecuted on this. We made Dor Hashem for the wicked people's generation. Kibyalka spoke about small made love Shezaro Pasul. And Hashem testifies that this person who married a woman with an impropriety, so Hashem testifies that his children are improper. Hashem says, "Shif Tekoi Dus Yisrael." The tribes of God, a testimony for Israel. When's the testimony for Israel? When the tribes are tribes of God. Then Hashem testifies about them. Hashem shows that they are His. Hashem only devolves His divine presence on families which have an appropriate lineage in the Jewish people. Shem Shem still don't have a smidgen of impropriety. Basically, Num Hashem at that time says God, Elokim, I will be a God, L'chol el mishpachos Beisol, to all the families of the house of Israel. V'heimo you will ilam, they'll be from me a nation. Meaning, Osam Shem mishpachos Bnei Yisrael Shem, those who from the families of the Jews who are kosher, you will be a nation for you. Somebody marries a woman who's inappropriate, because despite the fact she's has an impropriety. They marries her anyway because of her beauty, or because of her wealth. Having Labanim Shem Agurim as children who are full of impropriety themselves. Also, he's going to lose her money. As we in the fourth parak of Kedushin. But he marries a good woman for the purpose of money. If not for money, he would have married somebody else. There's no aver in that. But on the contrary, it's Tam B'chacham best to marry a woman with money. Wow, I didn't know this is explicit anywhere. This way, you won't have to be so distracted from the matters of this world. So too, straight people have this conduct. Straight, rich and straight people. To take a Tambachachim for their daughter, but they take a mom and her to give her much money, and to sustain him on his table. They should sit and learn. He says no greater mitzvah. And the merit of supporting their sons-in-law, the fathers-in-law, successful in their businesses. Somebody who wants to marry a woman who has an impropriety, the members of his family, they protest against him. He doesn't want to pay attention to them. Yasa is a person, they should do something public. The Simon to indicate that their children and his children should not get mixed together. Umisha Pascal Maman Harbe Lishuchin, somebody who was promised, stipulated a lot of money for a sheikh, and then some cause took place. The father of the kal could not fulfill the entire stipulation he stipulated. Even according to strict law, chassan can nullify the sheikh. Nevertheless, so it's best not to leave his kala high and dry. They send this camp. Let's go to him, and he should not fight with the family. These types of fights do not succeed. On the contrary, if he doesn't fight, he's going Hashem bracha. Hashem's going to give him a bracha. And he's going to have a great marriage. But keep money which a person takes on account of his wife with strong arm tactics. Ain't a moment. It's not just money. Anybody does this. Including those who marry for the purpose of money. Anything his father-in-law and mother-in-law give him. With a good eye. Plus, that's certainly be successful. However, somebody deliberately wanted to swindle the chassan, and he doing it with the dowry, v'sabish mitzvah kavdi, and they think, well, we're doing mitzvah to make the shidduch. Lo yafei mosim, they're not doing something appropriate. That's from the Shlach Kodesh. Kimel Omer Chazal Chazal say the end of the third paragraph. Sorry, ma'am. Test. Lem Shalom Lisa Bas Tam B'Chacham. Person should always attempt to marry daughter Tam B'Chacham. Lo Mitzvah Bas Tam B'Chacham. He doesn't find a daughter Tam B'Chacham. Lisa Bas Gdoli Ador. He should marry the daughter of the leaders of the generation. Tzaddikim, righteous people, and people who do good deeds. Rashi there. Lo Mitzvah Bas Gdoli Ador. He doesn't find in other words Gdoli Ador. It's Tzaddikim and Anshei Ma'aseh. Right, righteous people who do activists. Lo Mitzvah Bas Gdoli Ador. He doesn't find a daughter of Gdoli Ador. He said Bas Rosh Knesset. She married the daughter of the head of the shuls. Lomatza Bas Rosh Knesset, find the daughter of a head of a shul. Yisa Bas Gabbai Tzaka, she married the daughter of a person who's in charge of tzaka. Lomatza Bas Gabbai Tzaka, then find one of those. Yisa Bas Lami Tzaka, she married the daughter of a teacher. Chesh Tadel CB told time a person should also make an effort to marry his daughter to a time b'chacham. I CB told Amar to marry his daughter to an Amorit. Shem Dakim Mitzvahs, not meticulous mitzvahs. Brahma Chazal says a mitzvah dam lisa bas achosot. It's a mitzvah to marry your niece. Marivan Stav Sam Beish. Nemar Sorgal Tisayim. It says do not ignore your own flesh and blood. Your own flesh. Shayin and Chazayin. Fourteen Basachiv. This is true whether it's the son or your niece through your sister or your niece through your brother. It's a person to bring his relatives close. Some say, however, it's only the daughter of your sister. Because people feel closer to their sisters than to their brothers. And therefore he's going to love his wife, his niece, through his sister. But Dereshas feel like the first opinion holds like it's Medrash, like it says Medrash Nosal Adam Isha Mikrovosov. If somebody marries any woman from his relatives, Oleva Kasayim concerning such a person, the pasuk says, Etzem Atzomai Basim sorry, like understood Bachava, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Who? And the concept is like this: the love for relatives is natural. And the love of a husband and wife, is artificial, comes on account of their deeds, which they happen to perform. When they both connect, as nachon. You both connect both the pre-existing relationship and the new relationship, then the connection will be proper. The tent will be good for Yen to show him a so peace now. So Yodua Shencha Kroiba Shechol Hadam Lisayim and there's no closer relative that the person can marry than his niece. There's a reason given why a person is supposed to check 4 mothers in the family of the woman he wants to marry. So we shall see. The Knas Kantu Chachamim, evidently, only acquired this when you didn't marry your niece. But when Chachamim find you, so a person should have an incentive to connect to their own tribe and family. Okay. A person should not marry a woman from a family of lepers. Or a family of epileptics. Simply when the family has been established a pattern 3 times. That their children, their progeny come to this situation. The plus is in chazaka 3 times is considered to be chazaka. Now, I normally, for something which is a dangerous situation, we're going to turn even after 2 times, which because your dad, Simon, Ray Simon Gimel, they have 2 children died in the family account of the Bris Milah, which you don't do Milah on the third one. In assuming a pattern of family, ancient chazaka, there's no assumption of a pattern. Until they have established pattern 3 times. According to this, a woman has 2 sisters who are lepers, or nichbos, or epileptics, so they are not allowed to marry her. Because by bris milah, we also find 2 sisters who died in infancy cause a brother to impede a brother from having a bris milah. So here two sisters with this malady would prevent you from marrying the 3rd sister. And you don't have to establish parents 3 times. Hey, I'm Aretz, or even 2 times. I'm Aretz, so Kohenes. Ignorant person should not marry a daughter of a Kohen. They must be married. A daughter of a Kohen, the shidduch will not be good. He or who, one of them is going to die young. Or some other stumbling block which come between the 2 of them. They should deny the Zar Sharon because it's denigrating for the descendants of Aaron. She to cling to an Amoritz. But the Chacham no sich Kohenes by the time Mishas Kohenes. The time a Chacham marries his daughter of a Kohen, he's in Noam Meshubach. This is appropriate and proper, praiseworthy. Torah Kuna Makam Echad to combine Torah and Kuna. Mamikra Amartzi and Zeh. What's called Amartzi for this matter? I'm a Zav mitzvah. Some of you scoffs at mitzvahs. I will lo shishomer mitzvah, but some of you keeps mitzvahs. Av she'en time chacham is not even if it's not time chacham. That's not a problem. Chen shishmer the ein lo atam aretz kazeh shechosh chazav b'sachim. I ain't sure. Therefore, some say they won't have this type of amoritz in our day and age, which we not allowed to be married a kohen. Vav leisa b'chuz kena, a young man should not marry an old woman. She'en maledesh because not give birth. We bought them period. He's never going to fulfill period pruvu. Zakon isayal, an old man should not marry a young girl. Shabbos a grandma's nus. This causes licentious behavior. She does not act. She's going to be adulterous underneath him because he won't be able to satisfy, and then he won't be able to satisfy her. I'll say it's here. This is Turk one out chalos b'chalos no so. Do not defile your daughter to cause her to become adulterous. From Chazal says, Zamisel baby Todagi is referring to somebody who marries up his daughter to an old man. But if she wants him, behemes, in truth, she really wants him. Mutter, that's okay. This is a Chassidim said Chassidim brings down Maisa Besul Achas Shenasa Zak is a Maisa with a young girl who married an old man. She who she wanted. Yotze Bahem Man Bani Tam Chamet. They had children with Tam Chamet. Kama Maisa Keli Yadua, and we know several stories like this. A number of Tzona who rock with Neshu Usher. She only wants to marry because he's rich. Hey, no matter what else. That's not appropriate. So in fine houses should this Ragul Osher when she gets used to the riches. Togus Nav Shabo, so we'll find him pregnant. Bakesh Tafkidad, she's going to look for some other role. Zain, lo yisadam isha b'dagash, a person not married woman who has a mind to divorce. But on this it says, Alta chrosha re'achal ra, do not have bad thoughts on your friends in silence, but yeshel betach odcha, if he's dwelling in security with you. Everybody be told ahead of time. She knows it says, right, as long as you marry her on a temporary basis, that's okay. Some people also forbid this. It's a tie. So numbers my name, but in our day and age, ain't African there's no ramification. Thus the guys by Kocha. Anyway, today we don't divorce women against their will. Ragma is one of Takos from Gershom. Marshal, no matter what you look at, it's still get. If she agrees to receive again, I feel like saying this man, if he doesn't marry her on a temporary basis, he can still divorce her. Look, it says, right? And if she does agree. Ma Maria, she send his man. What does it do? He marries her temporarily. Lo Yisrael Isha B'Shnei Mekaymas. Also, I marry two women in two separate places. I guess put down Shulchan Aruch here. That's why he brings it down. And that's it for today.